And the multi-day Israeli raid on the occupied West Bank taking a new turn with the IDF beginning operations in the flashpoint city of Jenin. 19 Palestinians have been killed since the raid began on Wednesday, among them a local Hamas commander. The group acknowledging the leader's death on Telegram and vowing to fight on. The IDF says the raid in the West Bank is needed to crack down on military groups that have launched more than 150 attacks on Israel over the past year. But the action has drawn international condemnation from countries like France, Britain, and even the UN, who all fear this could spell the beginning of a larger war. Joining us now is Council on Foreign Relations Senior Fellow Stephen A. Cook. Thank you for joining us this morning, Stephen. The West Bank is relatively a new front in this war. Why is Israel deciding to strike there now, despite being occupied in Gaza, then on this northern front dealing with Lebanon?
Well, the West Bank is a tinderbox. And in fact, in the months before the October 7th Hamas attacks, the Israel Defense Forces were engaged in military operations against Hamas and a group called Islamic Jihad in places like Jenin and Tulkarm, another city in which they're now operating. So it is not only the fact that this is a pre-existing problem, but there is a grave concern that this will become yet another front in this multi-front conflict.
Yeah, we're looking at a possible three-front war, if this continues. Want to talk a little bit about the Israeli defense minister, and something he said earlier this week. He said, quote, "Our mission on the northern front is clear: to ensure the safe return of northern communities to their homes. In order to achieve this goal, we must expand the goals of war." I hone in on expand there because this is what the biggest concern is. What does he mean when he says we're expanding the goals of the war? Does that mean a three-front war? And, could we see what we're seeing in Gaza in the West Bank soon?
Well, the northern front is Lebanon, and that has been obviously an active front since last October. And of course, last weekend, you had a spectacular Israeli preemptive strike on Hezbollah, the militant group that has been firing on Israel for almost 11 months now. That is an ongoing concern. When it comes to the West Bank, we know that the Iranians have been funneling money and weapons to militants in the West Bank via Syria and Jordan in recent months in an effort to open up a front on the West Bank. The Israeli military operations that are being undertaken right now are an effort to thwart the explosion of the West Bank.
Israel's operation in the West Bank, that, as I noted earlier, has drawn a lot of condemnation. We had the UN Secretary General saying, quote, "These dangerous developments are fueling an already explosive situation in the occupied West Bank and further undermining the Palestinian Authority." What pressures do you think the international community can put on Israel, if any, quite honestly, to curb the widening of this war, as we're noting here, a possible three-front war?
Well, the Israelis look at it quite differently, obviously, from the UN Secretary General. They believe because the Iranians have been stoking violence and militancy in the West Bank, that their operations are designed to prevent a widening of the conflict. But because the Israelis define this conflict basically in existential terms, one of life and death, no matter what the UN Secretary General says, no matter what the president of France says, even what the president of the United States says, makes very little difference. The Israelis have made it clear over the course of the last 11 months or so that they retain the right to secure their country as they see fit. And that's clearly what's going on in the West Bank now. There is sentiment in Israel that it's about time the Israelis took this action in the West Bank, given the rise of militancy and violence in that part of the area. There's really no talking them off of this as long as Hamas and Islamic Jihad pose a threat to major Israeli population centers, which are adjacent to the areas where they're now operating.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.